Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Tyrauku here, and today what I want to do is get caught up with everything that's been going on inside the community recently, which there's been quite a bit. But for the past, I guess, 3 days, I really haven't been super active with Raid. Not at all, actually. It's been 3 days since my last video, and I made this post on my community page yesterday. I don't mean to take those big breaks, but yesterday, 3 days ago now, was when our first trips to the hospital started. But then 2 nights ago, I guess was our first night at the hospital. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. But either way, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who sent prayers our ways and all the support. Very, very much appreciated. My son, my youngest son, basically, he ended up having COVID that turned into croup, but it wasn't a mild form of croup. He ended up like not breathing very well at all. He was having retractions. He was having something called stridor breathing. Basically, it sounded absolutely terrible. It was very, very scary. As a parent, if you've ever had to deal with something like that, I imagine some of you guys can relate perfectly, and some of you have even experienced worse. As a parent, it's something I wish on no child whatsoever. It's a scary thing, especially when you don't really know how serious it is. Obviously, doctors don't want to really panic you, so they're not going to necessarily say how much it is, and really, I didn't want to know how serious it was, but thankfully, the doctor's taking care of him. They got him on some good Heliox, which was helium and oxygen mixed, so he was able to breathe that. We are back home now, which is why I'm doing this video, but he is doing much, much better. Doesn't sound 100%. He's still recovering from the effects, obviously, of COVID plus croup, but he sounds significantly better. He's actually able to breathe. It was pretty scary, like I said. But guys, I want to say a big thank you, like I said, to everybody who commented on this post and everything. Very, very much appreciated. Even if you didn't comment, thoughts, prayers, everything, beyond appreciated. So today we're going to talk about what's been going on inside the community, because I woke up today with some compensation. I don't know if this came through today. I guess it did. It was today at 10:47. So the compensation, what was it actually for? Let's go ahead and find out. We have this Monday, there was a breakdown in the distribution system. Some players ended up in the wrong leagues in Tag Team Arena. But in the future, the tier distribution algorithms should work correctly. A lot of big words right there. Tier distribution algorithms. Unfortunately, for technical reasons, we cannot reset Tag Team Arena tiers earlier than next Monday. Due to the arena tier misplacement and today's technical issues on the server, all users who logged into the game on 3rd or 4th of October will get the following resources as compensation. We got 4 Tag Team Arena refills, 5 energy refills, 3 50 things in multi-battles, and 2 clan ball skis. So basically, as from what I understand, obviously these rewards, they're 6 days. I mean, it's free rewards, okay? You can't say too much about free rewards, I guess. But from what I understand, you guys got to let me know down below, because I don't think it happened to me. I was like 800 points into Gold 4 in Tag Team Arena, and I stayed in Gold 4. Maybe that did affect me. I don't really know. But I've seen some posts. I don't know how true it is, but apparently people were in the green to move up to the next tier, and instead of moving up, they actually got demoted or even stayed the same. And I gotta say, the compensation that was given is great for players who this didn't really affect. But it really, really sucks for those players who spent a week of playing, grinding out 3v3 hard, to now just have this stuff. You know? It's a lot of time wasted, to be honest. Like, a lot of time wasted on a thing that should have never happened, right? It's not like you're going for a fusion and you missed the fusion because you planned poorly. No, this is something that you planned effectively. You were trying to push higher in the arena, especially somebody who's trying to get into gold for the first time or trying to get into silver the first time. Having something like this really, really sucks. And this compensation, I guess it doesn't really do that much, but I don't know what else they could do. But let me know if that happened to you. If you're somebody who was pushing and you actually got demoted when you should have been promoted. Not necessarily even say the same, but it's pretty crazy. But for me, I mean, this stuff is fine because, like I said, it didn't really affect me. Like I said, for those who did affect, pretty crappy. Now, the other thing that I've noticed is a pretty hot topic, I guess, and that is Marinic. So first things first, I got her pop up in my Altar of Souls, which I'm not buying her. I don't even plan on fusing her, to be honest. But this fusion, okay? So looking at this fusion champion, I did get access to the test server, which if you guys want to see some content on her, I'm more than happy to do. But just my limited testing, like literally less than an hour, because I got access to the test server over the weekend, and that's where everything went downhill with my son. But her skill kit and her functionality seems very lackluster, to say the least, okay? So I'm not going to read through the skills, but basically it's an attack-based champion who looks like a Knight Revs, but she's a Dark Elf. She's a Force Affinity. So Force Affinity, attack-based champions, not something we have a lot of. We have Kandrafon, but I feel like there's not a ton of force-based nukers. So maybe it'd be okay, except for the fact that she doesn't really seem to hit that hard. And nowadays we have so many good, hard-hitting champions. I mean, you have Magnar, who's an epic champion. You have a lot of really good epic nukers. So I'm not for sure how beneficial that is. Now, the other idea would be as a faction war champion. Well, she is in arguably the most stacked faction for faction wars, or one of the most stacked factions, right? I mean, you have champions like Kale, the starter, who's very good. You have champions like Coldheart, Painkeeper. These champions can clear faction wars extremely easily. I feel like Dark Elves, once you have, I feel like there's a lot of different champions you can use with a lot of success. Sylar being one of them. And I feel like this champion doesn't bring enough for me to be like, hey, if you're struggling with Dark Elf faction wars, you should go for her. Now, if she was in Night Revs, it might be a little bit of a different story. She looks like she should be in Night Revs, but she's not, which is kind of weird, kind of playing with my head. Just like Tatura over here. I guess he's a mount for the High Elves to ride because something doesn't seem the same as the others here. We all have all humans. I guess you could say Pixieel's a human. Yeah, she is. And then you have this bird, beast, lion, dog thing. I don't know what it is. But either way, Tatura. There you go, guys. But Marinix, I'm not going to go for a fusion. So she's kind of a lackluster champion. But then you have this pop up. I think it's an event that the rare champion costs an absurd amount of points to actually get. So if I'm following along, to get a rare, you need 9,350 points. Now, I got a feeling this may be a common occurrence. Wait, no, I thought the books were going to increase. I thought you were going to get points for booking champions in champion training events. Is that not a thing? Maybe it's just in tournaments? But I could have swore they said if you book your champions, you will get points in these events. Maybe it's a champion chase. You guys can let me know down below if you know about it, or I can just look it up myself and try to figure it out. Level or rank. Okay, so maybe it's just the tournaments. I don't really know. Either way, that is a crazy amount of points for a rare champion. And the thing is, this fusion's not forgiving whatsoever. If we go to the news section, we have the Marinix fusion. If you hit the details button, then it should bring up a form. This is my community page there. So we got some no discounts found. What a surprise, it's Plarium. So here we go. We have these events basically. Open image, a new tab, and then we will start highlighting stuff. Actually, there's really not much to highlight, but here we go. Let's go ahead and try it. Basically, if you want to do this, you have to get a rare. You have to get all 4 rares. So you have to try for all the tournaments unless you go for this right here. Oh my gosh, that is a big marker. Wow. So if you go for the epic, which the only chance you have at getting the epic is, let's go ahead and shrink this. The only chance of getting the epic is this summon rush right here. Now, this could be good if the upcoming, which I assume is a 10x event, if it has a guaranteed legendary champion from Sacred Shards in it as well. That's a possibility. Don't necessarily know if it's going to happen, obviously, but it could. And that would be a lot more of a incentivization. Is that even a word? I don't know, but we made it up just now. You'd be a lot more incentivized to actually go for it if it was a guaranteed champion with a 10x event. So yeah, if that happens, I may end up trying to go for Marinix. That may even be too late. But either way, you're going to have to really plan it out. If you miss one of these events and they don't look to be very easy, if they're all like the champion training event, this is crazy. A ton of points for a rare champion. Crazy, 9,350. It's a lot of champion training. But then you're probably going to have another champion training, yep, right here, that you're going to have to do. You got a lot of stuff to do, guys. Honestly, I think this fusion, this is my opinion, this is my hypothesis, is that Plarium's like, okay, we're probably going to have some better fusions coming up, but we're curious, how much will the players go for a fusion that is not that good and is very difficult to get? What kind of players are going to go for that, huh? So if it was like Brogni, or if it was like a champion like that, it'd be a pretty easy decision, right? It's an amazing champion, pretty challenging, but worth going for. This is a pretty mid-tier champion. Obviously could be buffed, but so could Opardin, and so could Rorik, and I don't really see them used that much. They do get used some, so if you're somebody who uses them, you don't have to let me know. You can, but they're not used that much, okay? Honestly, for the possibility of a buff on Marinix, I don't think it's worth stressing about, especially when these events seem to be so difficult as it is. Besides that, so she's not super top tier. I wouldn't even say she's top tier at all. But besides that, the fusion events are hard. Okay, this is a classic style fusion. So you gotta get all the rares. You gotta ascend them. You gotta level them. You gotta invest so much in all these rare champions to get this champion right here. For me, it's like, okay, Plarium wants to see what players are willing to go for. What extent are players going to reach to go for a below mid-tier champion, okay? Honestly, I think it's like Plarium saying, hey, we don't really got no more time to decide on anything else to do. So, hey, let's just throw this champion out there. Maybe players will get bored and go for it. Who knows? But I think this is going to be a fusion that I sit out on personally. It just seems like too much work for too little reward. And I mean, the game's meant to have fun. If you're stressing about all these tournaments and events and trying to get all the rares, and if you miss one, oh man, I just wasted all this time going for this champion, and it's useless, right? Take some time, work on your clan boss team, work on your dungeon teams, work on your arena teams, which is the part I love in the game, even though arena could be significantly improved. But either way, that's where I'm going to be focusing, okay? I'm going to be focusing on the other areas of my account that I can improve, so on and so forth. Going to be sitting out on this fusion, and I guess I'll probably be doing Hydras, considering I have 3 keys left and we have 10 hours remaining. So the next 10 hours is probably going to be me doing the Hydra. So guys, let me know down below. Are you going for the fusion, or are you going to sit out on it? What's your reasoning behind it? Do you think I missed something on her and that I need to test something? You think she's actually going to be really good? Am I just overlooking an amazing part of her kit? Let me know down below as well. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next video.